to check it all out all week. So outstanding stuff for that. Top 10. We've been doing our top 10 lists, and we're going to go ahead and finish it off. Our top 10 list right before the season. This is the last of the off-season stuff. Top 10 coaches in the NFL. So who is the top 10 coaches, head coaches, currently in the NFL? Now, head coaches, I'm not as big on head coaches in coaching in football. I think in all sports, really, it's more about the players. If you know, I don't take a lot of time talking about managers and all that stuff because I don't think it's as big of a deal as sometimes we make it out to be. I think football, it matters more, I think, than any other sport, certainly baseball or basketball at this level. But it does matter who the coaches are to a certain extent. I don't think coaches can coach their way out of bad teams too much. But who's good? Who's had success? Who's solid? Who is the best of the group? Let's look at the head coaches. Number 10, I'm going to put Mike McDaniel in number 10. He's an ascending offensive coach. I was super impressed with the job he's been doing the last couple of years with Tua Tagovailoa. Tagovailoa, he's managing to his strengths. He's getting the ball out quick, accurate. He's getting he's got the respect of his quarterback. He's getting the most from his quarterback. His quarterback and him trust. I think that's a lot of it. Offensively, I see a lot of good things. He finds running backs and gets good production out of them. His offenses are really good. Can he coach defense? That's the thing. Defensively, not as good, but they're winning. So it's worked. I think he needs some help on the defensive side. He's definitely one of these offensive guys, but I think he's in the top 10. I think the job he's done with Tua has been outstanding. Kevin Stefanski, a lot of Browns fans would say he's underrated because he was the coach of the league last year under very trying circumstances as well. Look, had to pull our boy Joe Flacco out of retirement to go ahead and actually get him through the playoff game, get him to the playoffs. So good stuff from him last year. Stefanski's defenses are always really good. That's a fact. His team has an identity. It is smash mouth Northeast football where they go ahead and they hit you in the mouth. The defenses are really good. His teams are good. They have an identity. So there's no question about whether Kevin Stefanski, if he is a good coach, he's absolutely, I think, in the top 10. His teams absolutely have an identity. His teams have won. I think the Browns are kind of seen in a bad light unnecessarily, too. I think that's part of why, like, his perception isn't as high as it should be, I think. They're kind of seen in a bad light. The Browns haven't been terrible. You look at the win-loss record. They're just in a very tough division. You know, hard to move with the Ravens, Steelers, et cetera, Bengals, et cetera. So I think he's done a really good job. He's a good coach. Number 9. I would tell you what, Matt LaFleur has been in Green Bay. Wasn't his first season last year. Talking about the job, I was impressed with Mike McDaniel. I was even more impressed with Matt LaFleur last year, what he did with Jordan Love. That I did not see that coming. He really impressed me. They look like they could keep the engine running without Aaron Rodgers. How good is Matt LaFleur? Look, that was a hard decision to make, to say we're going to go with a guy that, even though they drafted in the first round, who's been sitting the bench, a lot of people said it wouldn't work, and it worked. He got it to work. He has a good young football team. Good young, they look like Packers. And I mean that as a compliment. That looks like the Packers last year, what we saw all the years. And he looks like he's going to keep the engine running. Very good offensive coach. Got a good young receivers. I think it definitely fits his personality. A real smart young football team. Matt LaFleur, I think, number 8 as well. Number 7, some dissent, but Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott's won too many games for me not to put him on the head best list as well. Defensive guy. His team fits the team fits his personality. They're a hard-nosed defensive team, and he is a good fit there. Josh Allen has his total respect of his coach. You never hear any problems with him and Josh Allen. He kind of lets Josh Allen do his thing, even though he's defense. His defenses have always been consistently good. My concern with the Bills this year is the defense isn't quite as good. But Sean McDermott has always had good defense. Everybody talks about Josh Allen, but the defenses that they had have been really good in Buffalo. So I think that's one of the things. His side of the ball is always squared away. So that's why I really like Sean McDermott. And again, everybody forgets kind of like Stefanski, before he got there, how bad the Bills were. I mean, they were really just kind of floundering for a long time without Sean McDermott. So Sean McDermott has really turned them around as well in his tenure there. So I have Sean McDermott, number 7. I have Jim Harbaugh, number 6. I think like some people I'm hearing like they're worried about, well, he hasn't been in the league in so long, or he hasn't been in the league so long. It's been a while. I don't think Harbaugh's going to miss a beat. I think he's better than ever, honestly. I thought the job he did at Michigan was terrific. Terrific. The biggest thing with him that he's done, and I could see it already listening in the press conference, he's mellowed out a bit. Even though he had a lot of success with the 49ers, very intense, didn't get along with people, didn't have great relationships. At Michigan, it was kind of that way too at the beginning. He's kind of mellowed out. See, now he gets along better with his players, everything, more like John Harbaugh. Right? He was a more intense version. The intensity is still there, but his team already, even on draft day, you saw the identity of the Chargers change. You see him where they passed up the wide receiver for the lineman. He's going to build it in his image. I think hard-nosed coaching. He's you would almost think he's a defensive guy, but the thing I really like about him is he really understands offense. He really understands quarterbacking. He wants to install that similar type of ideology with the offensive mindset. Outstanding. I think Jim Harbaugh, massive coaching upgrade for the Chargers. Mike Tomlin. It almost seems a little low for Tomlin. He's now the dean, right? He's been at one team longer than any other coach in the league. Been there now. I think this is year 17 for Tomlin as well. Just signed an extension, so he's not going anywhere. Tomlin, I think, is people call him a cheerleader like it's a bad thing. It isn't. Tomlin is an intense guy, very intelligent, great at the podium, great motivating his team, great leader of men. That's so important with a Mike Tomlin. His defenses are always top shelf. He's evolved a bit over the years. I think it doesn't look like the Tony Dungy defense like when he first got there as well, but he adjusts to the players that are there. So I think Mike Tomlin, is a great coach. Players like him. And I think some people find something wrong with that too. He's intense. He's not heavy X&O. He's not the Bill Walsh type. Like some people always find fault with guys like that. But I think Tomlin, the numbers speak for itself. Never had a losing season in all those 17 years. That's good coaching. John Harbaugh is ahead of him a little bit. Now, let's get it out the way. AFC Championship game was not his best hour. That's for sure. He definitely has trouble with Andy Reid. So we know that. So let's get that out the way. I think Harbaugh is an outstanding coach in a lot of ways. Two guys, he kind of is a cross between Bill Belichick. The Bill Belichick, he is secretive. He doesn't like to divulge much. He doesn't like to he kind of has that attitude. He's doesn't always quick to drop players at times, has a bit of a doghouse. And he's like Parcells in the other way, Bill Parcells. Similarity to Parcells, some players love him. Some players really like playing for him. The thing I always say about John Harbaugh, too, better than any coach on this list in the league. All 53 guys on that team, all the way from Lamar Jackson all the way down to, you could say, Bo Braid, undrafted free agent, he knows about them. There's nobody in that building he doesn't know. He knows exactly what his guys are capable of, and his special teams are always outstanding. Outstanding. So that's one thing. He does all the little things to win a game. Not great on offense. That's the only not. I think he's relying on Monken and the quarterback and all that stuff from offense. But everything else is an A+. John Harbaugh. Kyle Shanahan. Oh, I'm sorry. Kyle Shanahan, number 3. Let's talk about Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, I think definitely reminds me of his dad when he was coaching. I don't think it's innovative only because it's so similar to Mike Shanahan's offense. I paid a lot of attention to Mike Shanahan's offense, but Kyle Shanahan is outstanding as well. Look, it doesn't matter what's so impressive. He doesn't even matter almost who the quarterback is, but he's had success with all these quarterbacks. It's not a secret. He couldn't make everything work there, but Trey Lance. So hasn't spent a lot of money. He's got the weaponry around him. The offenses is they know it down pat. They know it down pat. His teams, his offenses are always so impeccable. Defensive side of the ball has been good too. So I think also as well. I don't think he's an offensive coach. I think he understands the whole team though. I don't think he's as much of just the offensive guys gets credit for. He understands defense. He understands defense. His defenses are always really good. Sean McVay, number 2. I don't know how good of a GM he is. That's the only kind of knock I have on Sean McVay. But Sean McVay's offenses, again, like Shanahan, are, I think, top shelf regardless. I mean, it doesn't seem to matter who the quarterback is, whether it's Jared Goff, now he's got Matt Stafford, whether he gets all these running backs. You don't see Sean McVay's offense look like crap. It just doesn't, because his offenses are always always score a lot of points. They do very well. If he can stay away from injuries. The only knock on him I really have is he can't beat San Francisco, and I think he traded away too many picks for Stafford. I think that hurt his team. I think that was the reason why they've had leaner years and they haven't been able to continue to win. They gave away so many picks and they couldn't keep winning. But that's it. Everything else is on point. I think Sean McVay was outstanding, but Andy Reid is entering GOAT territory. I think this is the greatest maybe offensive coach of all time. What he's done, it's wow. He now at the end, he's got the best quarterback he's ever had. Let's see. You could almost guarantee this would be 7 straight AFC Championship games for Andy Reid in Kansas City. There you go. So there you go. Those are the top 10 coaches in the NFL. So we will go ahead and go over that as we go to the next